Hi, I'm Bob Gallagher, the mayor of the city of Bettendorf, Iowa. Today is Friday, March 8th, 2024. Welcome to my office at City Hall. We're here with our finance director, Jason Schadt. Jason, thanks for joining the message.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. So, you've seen Jason before because we've talked through the budget and the levers, if you will, that the city can control relative to the calculation of your property taxes. And we talked about one of those levers that we can't control is the Scott County assessor, who sent you a nice little note last April suggesting that the value of your property went up if you're a commercial at least 20%, and if you're on average. And if you are a residential homeowner, you're about 18 to 19% on average throughout the entire county, a little bit higher here in Bettendorf. So that scared all of us, but that's just one part of the equation that leads to what you will actually pay in property taxes. Jason, we got calls after the assessments went out, lots and lots of them.
Yep.
That's not something that we can control. Tell me, when my property went up almost 20%, how then does my actual tax rate, the dollars that I spend, get calculated with that information?
Well, there's a lot that happens between that April assessment notice and the time that you pay taxes, not until this coming September, actually.
Right, we're a year removed on September than March.
First thing is, in October, the city is notified of the residential rollback. This is what determines taxable value of a residential property. So while assessed value went up in some cases 20% or more, the rollback limited taxable value to 46% of that assessed value number. So the increase on taxable value in Bettendorf went up just about 4%, and most of that was from new construction. Taxable value on existing properties actually decreased just a touch.
So if I had a $100,000 house and the rollback was at 54.65, is that what it was last year?
Right. Yep.
And now it's at 46.34?
That's it.
That 9%, if we used to be able to tax at the 54, now we're at $46,000 if you're looking at a $100,000 house.
Exactly.
That gets applied to the levy rate to determine actual amounts per $1,000 in valuation.
That's right. And the city council will determine the city's levy rate through the budget process. We're going through that right now, and council is considering a couple of things. Likely a levy rate increase to deal with not only this reduction in taxable value, but also just the city's growth. We're adding firefighters. This council is very committed to public safety, and I think this budget kind of strengthens that commitment.
And so it's really kind of a struggle philosophically for council, because we're going to need 46 cents on the levy in a 3-year period to hire the firefighters and take care of some of the growth that we've experienced, as well as replenish some coffers from this dive that the state on the rollback took for us. So you could do 22 cents plus 12 plus 12,
Right.
or you could do the 46 now.
46 all at once. What the mayor's referring to is the firefighters. We'll bring on 6 of them through a SAFER grant. That's a federal grant through Homeland Security, and it will pay for the cost of the firefighters for the first 3 years. But after those 3 years, the city is fully on the hook to pay for those firefighters, and that's certainly something that we intend to do.
And we heard from you that you wanted all stations staffed 24/7 with career firefighters, and this is a big bite of that apple, and council responded and did exactly what the taxpayers were demanding of them. We also got lucky with the SAFER grant, but we're going to have to pay for these firefighters. They don't come for free. Public safety, obviously, is our most expensive personnel or employee in the city.
Yep.
With good reason.
Right. So as council kind of wrestles with this decision, the 22 cents versus the 46 cents, I think it's important to point out that an increase in the levy rate alone doesn't necessarily mean an increase in taxes on an individual property. And there will be several properties because of that drop in taxable value that will pay the same or less taxes next year as they are this year.
So if we went to 22, more than half, or right about half, of our residents will pay less than they did last year, And if we went to 46, about 35% of our residents were still going to pay less. Is
That's
that right?
Yep.
So there's a real good chance you'll pay less, and we've got a really cool tool that your guys did. Everybody in finance and IT put together is really cool. Go to our website, www.bettendorf.org/budget. You can take a look at some information and take a look at the tool where you can put in your address, and you'll determine whether or not at your house, under either scenario, you'll see an increase or a decrease. And now it's not perfect because we don't know what exemptions you may qualify for, whether it's military or other. So your homestead, we understand most of you are owning your homestead, but those variables may not give you the exact value, but you're going to get a real good ballpark. And thanks to you guys in finance and IT for doing that.
Yeah, it was a huge team effort and a really cool tool to make available to the public. So I encourage everyone to check it out.
What else should folks know about the budget or the levy rate and what to expect as we finish this budget process over the next several weeks?
The budget process is stretched out a little bit longer than it used to be. We'll adopt the budget on April 16th after a public hearing, but there's also a public hearing coming up on March 25th. If you'd like council to hear your thoughts on the budget, plan to attend that here at City Hall at 5 o'clock on the 25th. We'll follow that up with that second and final public hearing on April 16th to adopt a budget that will go into effect on July 1st.
If you want to learn more about what's happening with the budget and the stuff that we just talked about, levy rates and assessed values, take a look at the mayor's State of the City. We talked about it there with some slides, and also Jason did a great budget instruction for council at our committee of the whole meeting it was actually a special meeting last Monday. So to look for the special meeting on the budget where Jason walked through a bunch of slides and really explains those questions that council is now wrestling to determine where we're headed next. So thanks a lot for joining us. Please go take a look at some of those additional places to learn some more about what we brought for you today, and have a great weekend.